San Marino gli ufologi di tutto il mondo, c'è anche la pronipote del presidente americano Eisenhower e hanno del clamoroso le sue rivelazioni. Giulia Palmieri.
Proprio così, verità che potrebbero destabilizzare l'umanità, dice ineffabile la pronipote di Eisenhower, ma non evidentemente la platea riunita a San Marino. È qui al 15° simposio mondiale sull'esplorazione dello spazio e la vita nel cosmo che l'ora Eisenhower racconta la sua verità. È vero, il mio bisnonno, il presidente degli Stati Uniti Dwight Eisenhower, incontrò in una base militare americana una delegazione ufficiale di extraterrestri. Era il febbraio del 54. Volevano che interrompessimo il nostro programma nucleare, che smettessimo di inquinare il pianeta e vivessimo in pace, racconta, ma in tempo di guerra fredda non era pensabile accettare.
Les horizons nous attendent et nous volons vers les horizons qui sont ceux de l'Europe et de la planète entière. Il faut savoir que ceux qui nous observent de loin sont inquiets. J'ai vu et entendu et écouté plusieurs des dirigeants d'autres planètes qui sont très inquiets parce qu'ils s'interrogent sur la voie que l'Union européenne va poursuivre. Et donc il faut rassurer et les Européens et ceux qui nous observent de plus loin.
Sono Clifford Stone, pensionato dell'esercito americano. Ho servito per 22 anni e mezzo. Durante il mio servizio sono stato chiamato molte volte, per la precisione 12 volte, a occuparmi di casi riguardanti gli UFO. Ebbene, non si trattava di avvistamenti, ma del recupero di velivoli non identificati schiantatisi al suolo, di resti, e a volte persino di cadaveri, e a volte anche di entità ancora in vita. In quel periodo sono venuto a sapere che la nostra conoscenza sui cosiddetti oggetti volanti non identificati era ben superiore a quello che si raccontava alla gente. Abbiamo recuperato un sacco di resti, pezzi di astronavi e anche cadaveri. Non abbiamo mai fatto quello che comunemente si dice un'autopsia. Facevamo delle incisioni sui loro corpi. Un'autopsia si fa su delle specie che si conoscono per capire le cause della morte o cose del genere. Ma noi avevamo a che fare con specie di cui non avevamo la minima idea, che non sapevamo come catalogare. Al momento del mio pensionamento ne avevamo però catalogate più di 57, arrivate da chissà dove su questo pianeta. 57 identificate con tanto di cartellino di riconoscimento.
I wish that I were in a mood for good humor, but I'm not. We're hell-bent in the direction of destroying our planet. And frankly, we appear to be doing very little about it. Decades ago, visitors from other planets warned us about where we were headed and offered to help. But instead, we, or at least some of us, interpreted their visits as a threat and decided to shoot first and ask questions after. The inevitable result was that some of our planes were lost, but how many were due to retaliation and how many were as a result of our own stupidity is a moot point. They, the military, must have been and still are so paranoid that they feel it necessary to use the visitors' technology to fight them off, rather than welcome them as partners in development. Though they may have seconded a few renegades to assist them in what can best be viewed as diabolical developments. Stephen has said that talking about UFOs is passé, and that we should be talking or limiting our talk to exopolitics. Well, Stephen, I agree with you in theory, but in reality we have a problem when official U.S. policy insists that UFOs don't exist. The veil of secrecy must be lifted, and it has to be lifted now, before it's too late. It is ironic that the U.S. should be fighting monstrously expensive wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, allegedly to bring democracy to those two countries, when it itself can no longer legitimately claim to be called a democracy, when trillions, and I mean thousands of billions of dollars, have been spent on projects about which both the Congress and the Commander-in-Chief have been kept deliberately in the dark. How much has been accomplished in 60 years of feverish activity by some of the most educated minds in the United States? Has America developed flying saucers that are visually indistinguishable from the visitors, as alleged? And if so, what do they propose to do with them? Even more critical, what progress has been made in the development of clean energy sources that could conceivably replace fossil fuels and save the planet from becoming a veritable wasteland? Well, who has the answers? Someone does, but apparently they aren't telling either secretaries of defense or presidents because they don't have, quote, a need to know. In a story told by Dr. Stephen Greer, President Clinton was asked a question by White House reporter Sarah McClendon about why he didn't do something about disclosure. And Clinton replied, "Sarah, there's a government inside the government, and I don't control it." Excuse me, doesn't the Commander-in-Chief and the person who allegedly has their finger on the nuclear trigger have a right to know what his subordinates are doing? The people of the United States who have paid the bills have the right to know. The people of the world demand to know because it is our descendants too whose lives are in mortal danger. It is time for the people of the United States to launch a new war against the evil of lies, deceit, and darkness, and go all out to win the victory of truth and transparency and light. Thank you.